I can just go. We're just going. We're going. Pissy, yeah, sing talk.
Pissy faces.
Yeah. Talk singing. It's the thing of the name of the game.
Welcome to Center and Sync Podcast.
Episode 49.
Ben and Patrick working their hardest to get to 50.
We were just joking. We've recorded probably, it's got to be close to 65 at least episodes.
If you count B-sides, we've got to be 37.
Yeah, that's true. We got 10 yeah. So we've got to be around 75, and we just have had to burn so many. And some we just chose not to ever hit record on. Those were frustrating. Remember those? Because those were gold.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those were gold.
Sure as heck don't remember all the mistakes I've made.
Welcome to the Center and Sync Podcast with Ben and Patrick.
Her name was Heather.
Yeah, well, where we bring the best and the worst of our lives, and we're piling it on.
We are.
Just
you okay?
shake it out. No, yeah, you okay? You did the whole.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm here.
Hats are your new thing for those on the YouTubers.
Throwing on a hat today. Not feeling 100%, as the kids say. Not a hundo.
A hundo. Feeling a little cringy.
Feel more like a Honda.
Oh.
Need a haircut. So I figured rather than getting dolled up on a weekend morning.
I'll probably shave later.
You think so?
Yeah, it's about every 3 days.
Yeah.
Yep. When I put a new blade in the razor, I have to go a little slower because that's when I get scalp myself.
Dog will hunt.
Ooh, I got a funny story for the episode we'll get into about shaving.
Don't go ahead.
Let's start with our Eddie. Help us out, man.
When you hear the tone, it will be exactly time to get a drink. Just a little drink.
Yeah.
Any little drink.
Any little drink.
Will do.
It really goes down easy.
Before the evening ends.
Before it ends, before the morning ends, and our day
Before the
actually
podcast
begins.
ends.
We'll do this stuff.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, well, this is where we do Slancha.
Yeah, Slancha.
This is where we do more of the show.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I get my phone to pre-program for.
No, whatever you want to
40
finish.
minutes
You want to finish that level of Candy Crush? Go ahead.
No, it's
okay.
Come on.
Oh, wait.
First of all, I'm a Doku man.
Oh,
everybody
Doku.
knows I'm a Doku man. So
You do it on your phone?
you ain't playing that Doku, you ain't doing it right.
That's true.
Today we are having. Actually, you
Oh.
have the show notes. You might help me out.
Yeah, this is is this a Lady Sour?
It's a.
Lady, no.
It should be a Laddie Sour. So,
Laddie Sour, sorry.
Laddie
Yes,
Sour,
it is there, a Laddie Sour.
This is Irish whiskey.
Yeah,
this
what is that?
Scotch whiskey. This is angostura bitters. This is some
One egg white.
Ooh, there's an egg white.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta shake that in there. If you shake it properly, it should foam at the top.
Did you shake it properly?
Well, I made it 2 hours ago before I drove to your house, so no.
If you shake it properly, it'll foam at the top. That's your lady.
I didn't hear it. But it's right there. It is right there.
Welcome to junior high, kids.
The Center and Sync Podcast is an examination on the best and worst of life. Like when you start a podcast, and then on said podcast, you say if you shake it up, you'll get the.
Well, look, it's foaming.
Like foam on top. Yeah, I'm also just realizing that
Good for
given that I wasn't really awake today, I didn't put the egg white in here. I'm almost 100% sure.
That's
I put the
okay.
egg white in here,
So
so.
is it just sitting on the counter at home, and you'll get home later and be like, oh, yeah, that's where that.
There's an egg. There's an egg sitting there. I will say, if you guys are going to try and make this cocktail at home, if you are getting into egg foaming in your cocktails, that's not beginner level. That's intermediate at least. The way you want to do that is your strainer is going to have a spring on it. You pop that spring off the strainer and throw the spring into a shaker with the egg white, and you do what's called dry shaking. And as you shake that back and forth, you're welcome.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Yep.
As you dry shake that egg white back and forth, it whips it. So
Yeah, it does.
when you would then
Whip it good.
When a problem comes along, you must remember.
You're welcome.
And then you pour that on top. Or if you pour the cocktail back into the egg white after you pull the spring out, the specific gravity will separate it. So when you pour it, it'll still the foam. When you shake it, and the foam will go to the top.
Man, I want to see. I feel like we need a live presentation of this on a podcast, one of these episodes.
Okay, I can do that next time. It's
Yeah.
going to be loud, so I think what would be best is if I just turned my mic off while I did it, and you could see it on the
Turn
video.
away. Turn away. Turn away.
I don't know that
If you
song.
see me walking by and the tears in my eye, look away, baby, look away. Don't look at me. I don't want you to see me this way. I don't know if that's what Brian Adams said.
Sure.
I don't know.
This is Patrick's music episode where he.
I'm just
goes through
singing
all
bits and
musicals.
pieces, not show tunes. Just bringing them out. Laddie Sour. What do you know the history of this drink?
Well, the Irish whiskey and the Scotch whiskey. So they call their boys lads.
Battled and fighting, and there's a war, and they're angry, and they were
No, there was.
Do you have a kilt? Do you wear a kilt?
I've worn a kilt. I don't have a kilt.
I don't own one. I've never worn one.
I have worn a kilt.
Good for you.
It's.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think fashion is backwards in our culture. Like, I think men should wear light, breezy garments that allow us to stay cool, and women should wear all the garments that have layers and texture and thickness to them.
So you want us to be Iran? Because that's essentially what you just like.
That's fine.
Yep.
No worries.
Every aggressive.
They got to figure it out, man. They got. Are you saying that would make us aggressive?
I think.
You think their clothing makes them aggressive?
I think Middle Eastern countries ruled by men that make their women completely
Well.
cover up except for their eyes, while the men get to wear linen garments that are easy breezy and light.
Yeah, but if you look at pictures of Iran and go Google Iran 1978 fashion, they were dressing dope, man. It was only the conservative fundamentalist regimes that brought them back to where they are today.
So your time machine works, is what I'm hearing you say.
The Google, yeah, no, it works. Yeah, as long as got a signal.
Love it.
The
Man, I gotta
Google,
get the Google.
the Googly.
I feel like the way you said the Googles, like the start of The Simpsons. The Google.
It is. That's if they were making a commercial.
We don't know what we're doing here today. We're
just John. We're just John,
trying
a
to-
couple of buddies,
trying to get
pals,
along.
having a drink, and John and talking and
Do you have any
recording it
linen
because we
clothes?
think people want to listen to this. And if you do, I found out one of our subscribers on YouTube's like a 14-year-old kid.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, good on you, kid. He has. I looked at his YouTube profile. He records himself skateboarding. He's only got
Okay.
a couple of videos, but hey, keep working on that, buddy. You're gonna
Yeah,
get
man.
it.
Thanks for watching.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know what you think is. Hey, you can aspire to be this someday.
Think about that.
Be more, be better.
If you quit skateboarding, you could look like us by 22.
Did you skateboard? Were you a skateboarder growing up?
I wanted to be a skateboarder. I lacked the pliability, I think. I was more built for, like, I don't want to say power sports, but like
Yeah.
not agile sports.
Yeah.
So
My we didn't have one.
you didn't have a skateboard?
No. I found my uncle's penny board
Okay. I
in
don't
the
know what a
garage.
penny board is.
The little ones.
Okay.
Like real skinny,
Real
real
thin
small.
babies.
Mhm.
Okay.
And tried it and fell off and was like, that hurts.
Mhm.
So that was it. My mom outlawed those and comic books. Those were.
Wow.
I think the skateboard was for injuries, and there was something, I don't know, demonic about comic books. I'm not sure, which obviously made them just more enticing. Which was a few things in my childhood. Like, we didn't talk about sex, which was always a weird thing. Like, that was not an open up. Like, I remember in 3rd or 4th grade, like, figuring out like what sex was, and she's like, "Nope, it just means male and female." And I was like, "No, I did my research. I went and looked in the encyclopedia and I looked in the dictionary and like."
You're welcome, 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. He's got a phone. You know,
Clean it up,
yeah,
14.
Pandora's box has been
Clean it
opened.
up, 14. Hey, speaking of 14, and nothing we're talking about. If you're all looking for a good read out there, not a sponsor, but check out the book 14 by Peter Clines. Fantastic. A friend and I were talking about it recently, and he said, I feel like I haven't found a really good read in a long time. And I was like, have you? And he likes fiction. He likes the high speed, low drag. And I was like, hey, you're gonna like this. Give this a shot. And I've not followed up with him, so I don't know if he.
You can give us a book jacket.
Enjoyed it. So this guy lives in an apartment building in LA, and anybody who's lived in an apartment, not you 14, but the rest of us probably have, the units are all very similar. Like, they can vary based on size or bedrooms or anything like that, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. And he starts to realize in his apartment building, like, nobody's apartment is alike. Like, one apartment has vaulted ceilings, and one apartment is, has this grand, like, patio garden area. And then
it's not financially, it doesn't make sense. There's nobody's designing that.
And then they realize that apartment number 14 is, like, heavily padlocked from the outside, like numerous locks. And so they start to kind of ask questions as tenants, and then they realize, like, they're not on the grid either. And they're not, they're like, well, how do we get our power? So then they're starting to investigate, like, how the building is, what the building is. And then without spoiling anything, it is the hardest left turn I've ever seen a book take. About 3/4 the way through, and that 100% works.
Really?
Like, and just, you're kind of like, oh, what the what? But then you're just like, well, now I have so many more questions than I need answered. So yeah, it does a really good job of building it up, and then Peter Clines made a series off of it called the Fold series, and 14 is the first book, or kind of a prequel to that series. So yeah, just out there, hey, if you're looking for a good fall read, good, sit outside, or if you got a vacation coming up and you want to.
14, Peter Clines.
Yeah, but the book's called 14. 14.
Did you watch Lost? Did you watch the season Lost? I never watched it. It had a big hype, and I don't follow the hype during anything because. Yeah. But that sounds like one that it had hard left turns that worked. Like.
Oh, did it?
It just seems like it was this weird, like, how do you explain these things, and then like. The clarity came into mind, and
what do you think the end of that was? I always just assumed it was purgatory.
I don't know. I tried watching. I watched Knock on the Cabin, Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I was incredibly disappointed. I was like, oh gosh, this was. I thought it was going to be smart. It was not smart.
I read that book, and then I was interested to see what the TV adaptation or the movie adaptation.
Did you watch it?
I did. I did.
It was not.
Yeah.
I had higher hopes than for when it revealed. I was like, "Oh, this isn't smart or easy. Like this could almost be reality today." Like.
Yeah, I think so like when I was reading that book, I realized that the big takeaway. Excuse me. The big takeaway was that the author was able to pull it off because. It just seems incredibly difficult to write a book where the setting is stationary. Yeah. So you're not going anywhere, you're trapped somewhere, and so you have to make a book entertaining with really no change of pace. Yeah. So it has to be heavy on dialogue, it has to be heavy on their ability to have personal interactions, whether uplifting or horrific, to drive the storyline, because you're not jet setting off to faraway places.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe this is the book episode.
It could be. So, Sinner Saintsies? Cincy Saintsies?
About books or not?
If that's where you want to go, we kind of leave it open to draw from your inspiration. I'll start. Got to celebrate. This is my Saintsy moment, but it's kind of a long progression. Okay. As more than a moment, if you will. So my wife had her birthday recently, and
happy birthday.
Yeah, she's older, wiser, hotter. Trying to get some bonus points there.
Yeah, I think it should work.
Okay. We'll see.
Has your wife gotten more attractive as she's aged?
Oh yeah.
Man, I agree.
Yeah. You think my wife's got more attractive? As she gets?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, when I go back to the days where your wife was my work wife,
Doggo,
and then I see,
yeah.
I see your wife now, I'm just like, wow, just
good,
stunning
Good.
transformation.
Yeah. No, I think that's the case of most women, which I always think is funny because they don't seem to see that in themselves, and so then they try to diet or cover it up or whatever, or inflate it or Botox it or whatever, and it's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Let it go naturally. It's pretty wonderful thing to see. So
I was on a conference call the other day with this woman who was probably late 40s, but had let her hair go all the way white.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, you look.
That's
fantastic.
stunning.
Like, yeah. I'm with you there because I was kind of
natural
like,
graying hair on a woman is it's pretty.
New York.
Yeah, it's like that. That's great. That's great. So yeah, no, I think so. I am a romantic. Always have been, and love grand gestures of love. My wife is on the whole other end of the spectrum, practical and rational and whatever. But for years I tried to woo her with grand gestures, and it usually landed like a turd on a hot sidewalk.
Real mealy.
Yep. And she would say, I appreciated those, which was fine. But it certainly was not. Yeah. So over the years, I've learned like I need to love her the way she wants to be loved.
What's her love language?
Security is her love language. Stability, consistency,
quality time, things like that.
Nope, not quality. Nope, do not read into that. Nope. I tried all the major 5. And it's none of those.
So hers is predictability.
Predictability, stability, and a world of control.
Okay.
Where she is the puppet master, and everything operates as she can assume and expect. So
wonderful.
So that is how I try to love her. I give her very predictable, surprising moments and elements of our relationship.
Yeah.
Which is how I approach the birthday. So I'd send her 2 or 3 weeks out.
Here's $75.
2 or 3 weeks out, I sent her a calendar invite to hold the day for her birthday and to take the day off work. Because usually, like most years, I'd be like, I take, if I can, every year for my birthday, I'm like, I'm not working. Like, not because I'm looking to do anything special, but if I get one day for myself, like I'm going to take that day, even that's sitting at home on the couch alone watching some movies or whatever. Like
on my most recent birthday, I was here recording a podcast.
Hey, best day of your life. You remember that one fondly?
No, but it was probably top 400.
Top 400 birthdays, awesome. We got a backfill there.
Exactly. Yeah, top 400 birthdays, man. Couldn't be happier.
And so every year when her birthday rolls around, I'm like, taking the day off so we can spend the day together. And she's like, no, I'm working. And I'm like, okay. So this year I was like, well, I'm going to send her an invite, and she can choose to take the day off or not, whatever. But I'll be available. So she took the day off, and I didn't plan anything. I wasn't like, I'm not putting any grand gestures of surprise or whatever. And I said, well, what would you like to do for your birthday? And we always enjoy new fields and going through the art museum. And she's like, well, if we can, I'd like to go to the art museum. I'm like, well, that's something I was going to suggest. So let's do that, and we'll wake up slow. We'll head to the local bakery here and grab a sweet treat to start the day. And so we did. We spent the day just letting her operate in the safety and security and predictability of a relaxing day with no surprises. And it was nice. She even picked lunch. We went down to, you heard of Chechori?
No, I'm not.
It's amazing. An Argentine empanada restaurant. They have other things, but their empanadas are lit. Down on 16th Street. It's worth it. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
So that was my saint moment of like trying to meet her where she is. And
I think that's important.
Yeah, it is. It is important. Yes, it is. I'm going to say that.
Oh man, that's funny. So we can stick with wives for center and saint moments.
You can go anywhere you want to go if you want to pull out of this if you'd like to.
No, not at all.
There's no sense in digging a grave.
She doesn't listen.
No, right.
My wife is the most tenacious person I've ever met. Like, she can go from 0 to full escalation without much invitation. So sometimes it's hard to know how to be there for her, so sometimes so kind of what I hear you saying, not putting words in your mouth, but it took you some time to learn how to love your wife the way your wife wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm there yet. I think I'm still trying to figure that out. She is so funny because there are times where I feel like everything for her is spinning out of control. So my center moment is I intentionally don't share the mundane frustrations I have that, like, I would enjoy to vent.
Right.
But I'm like, you have so much. Yeah, right. Like, and we have this, we watched a movie a long time ago that was, I don't even know what it was called, but it was like Bobby Cannavale and Rose Byrne and Al Pacino, I think, were in it. And there was an illustration where it was basically like, there are these women in Africa who their function is to literally feed the tribe from their own body. So, like, they are feeding the children of the tribe with their milk.
Uh-huh.
And so we're like, we'll rearrange the words a little bit to make it more 14-year-old approved. But we're just kind of like, well, we're not the milk women of Africa, right? So, like, things could be a whole lot worse. So, like, when things are super bad, we're just kind of like, well, we're not the milk women of Africa. Like, that's a hard job.
Is that our title?
Like,
that might be our title.
The milk women of Africa. Yes, that could be. Go ahead and populate the show now. The milk women of Africa. So it's funny because I should be much better about sharing, and and like she's even said, and so this is where I'm like, it's a trap, because she'll be like, but those things help me. Like, knowing that you have struggles help me, because I feel like you come in every day just like, boop-a-doo, another day, who cares?
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, and I'm like fraying at the seams, and then I'm like, how's he cool and collected? And I'm like, conceal, don't feel, man. That's how I'm cool and collected. I'm just not talking to you.
You gotta bury that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Bury it.
But then I'm like, and so then I just sit out back and listen to baseball, and things get better. So it's just funny because, like, I had to, like, you had to learn how to love your wife. I still have to learn how to communicate with my wife sometimes, because
I've not earned my master's degree yet. I'm still I'm still
Junior
hard
high.
in the session.
Yeah. I guess
every once in a while the light bulb comes on and I'm like, maybe here's how I do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's we give each other a lot of latitude. So it's funny, we were talking recently that we really like our life because the way our life is structured.
Yeah.
We have definitely like a balance of, in the mornings we'll do our own thing, and in the afternoons we'll do our own thing. And so even on the weekends, like, if I don't have anything to do, I'll also know I'm not doing it with her.
Uh-huh.
So whatever I'm doing on my own or with other people, because she's doing her own thing through the day.
Yeah.
And then, like, at dinner time through the rest of the night, that's our time. And there are days where I'm bored, but I'm like, I can't puppy her, right? I can't just be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You want to go sit outside? You want to go take a walk? You want to go brunch? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I know on this show, I think I've talked about our, like, 9 and 10 o'clock rule. Like,
yeah.
So she can't talk to anything to me serious after 9 o'clock at night, and I can't talk to her about anything serious before 10 in the morning. And so, it's a good 11-hour window of communication.
You got time.
And so we just text.
Yeah.
That's the smartest thing, is just text back and forth.
That's like, I recommend that in my, not texting, but
I recommend texting.
I recommend couples keep an argument journal. Because when you write down your frustrations and your anger, you have to use a different part of your brain.
Now,
and so you see it from a different perspective, and you have to slow down in order to do it. And so as you're doing both of those practices, you really start to see kind of the fallacy of your own kind of stubbornness or whatever.
So here's an idea. You shut up. That's my idea. You stop saying things.
You know what? You shut up.
You just shut up.
Here, how about this idea? Yeah.
Here's my center moment. Live on air. You shut up.
Oh, that's just nice. That's nice. That's nice. I like that.
So it's funny, my wife keeps a journal. And there are times where I am king ass in my house.
Oh.
And like just...
You have a crown?
Might as well. But the problem is most of the jewels are in the toilet. So we're quick to resolve.
Yeah.
So if we fight, we bring it back the next day. It's probably something I should seek medical help for. I don't know why this happens. My memory just shuts off during the night. So we've talked on this podcast about, late night with Ben. I'll do funny things, like things will happen. I'll have full conversations with my wife. She thinks they're hilarious. Equally, there can be moments of volatility where like something, like if I'm having a nightmare and I get woken up, like that nightmare becomes today. So I guess I got into her one night, and the next day, so I sent her a text and I was like, hey, I don't know if we're okay, because I had like this really bad dream, but like part of this dream feels like it might have been real, and like this is also sometimes is like a weekly check-in where we're like, we're cool, right? She'd be like, yeah, we're great. Well, I was like, just dreams. Because like
they mess you up, man.
Well, and then because my memory hesitates to differentiate fact from fiction, I don't know if what I dreamed was real or if what was real I thought was a dream. So I have to do these check-ins with her where I'm like, we're cool. And she's like, we're great. And she's like, no, just a dream. So I send a text the next day and I was like, hey, I think this might... And radio silence.
Whoop.
Nothing in return. And I was like, oh man, this can't be good. Okay. I get home. She is frigid. Like all the way frigid.
Wow.
And so like we talk it through and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember any of this. And she's like, you were so mad for no reason and I couldn't get you unmad. So then you got mad at me for trying to make you stop being mad.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wow, this sounds terrible. She's like, I wrote like 6 pages in my journal about this. And in my head, I was just like, it lives in here now. Oh, no.
You just codified it.
The memory lives in my bedroom now. And I would never break that trust. I would never invade her personal space and read her journal or anything like that. But just knowing that what really happened lives somewhere, because I still don't fully understand what happened that night, but I'm like, there's a clear account that will be part of the deposition.
I got a friend, Megan, who it seems like it's often 2 or 3 times a year that she will see me and she's like, well, I dreamt about you last night, and I'm like, and it's always like this explosive, like ridiculous thing that I've said or done in her dreams.
Wow.
And she always wakes up and she's like, I'm so pissed at Patrick. And her husband's like, he's like, you gotta get this under control. Like,
relax. None of that happened.
So it's always funny when she shows up and she's like, here's what you did in the dream, just so you know. And I'm like, that sounds about me. That sounds about right. I would have done that. I'd do it again too.
Oh man, years ago Ben Folds had a song. I mean, the song still exists. They didn't erase it. But I forget what the song's called. But there's a lyric that's when I know she's going to be pissed when she wakes up for terrible things I did to her in her dreams. And it's like, yeah, like that's real.
So I forgot about this, and I'm glad you reminded me, because when it happened, I was like, oh, I'm bringing this to the podcast.
Oh, good.
This is kind of my center moment, which you don't have. You don't have control over your dreams.
No.
But boy, you do when you have kind of dark dreams or heavy dreams. You're kind of like, there's something in there. Like that's in me.
Yeah.
In some kind of way, and it's terrifying. And I've had some. Cammy's like, you have the most messed up dreams, and so I just stopped telling him because. They are ridiculous.
You don't want to scare people.
They are. So I'm gonna walk out on the thin ice and be like, here's the dream I had a few months ago, and it was a dream that I forgot about. You don't often remember your dreams. So this is one I'd forgotten about, but it resolved the other night, which I'm so glad it did. So the dream was... Wait,
you had a follow-up dream that
I had a
the primary
sequel
dream?
to the primary dream that settled it.
Your brain is sexy.
It's messed up.
Wow.
So you and I and Sean, we're going together. We're going to go on a trip, and we were going to go to Norway, which just happens to exist on the other side of 31. And so... Which also is, I love dreams because you're like, none of that is logical or makes sense, but that's exactly what happened.
Street and I'm in Norway.
Yep. So we got together and went to Norway on the other side of 31, and there was a festival of some sort there. And the festival was closing down, and as it did, that we were staying in these hotel frontage hotels, just little you walk in from the street kind of things, right? And so we were staying in a village of those, and as the festival was closing down, some guy got mad at us and instigated a fight, and we just kind of tried to defend ourselves. And
that's a bad threesome to pick a fight with.
It was, and it didn't end well. We killed the guy in my dream.
Yeah.
And then
Sean did it, didn't he?
But the festival was ending, and everybody was kind of heading out. Okay. And you were like, "We're gonna wrap him in a shower curtain and put him in the bathtub."
I would say that.
And then he's like, "And then we're just gonna leave, and nobody's gonna be able to trace it back to us."
How do we pay for the room?
It doesn't matter. It wasn't our room. That we put him in his room.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. Yes. So, and you went through and wiped everything down as we left. You're like, I know how to do this.
I do know how to do this. Oh man.
So that's how and I was like, I remember being like, that's a horrible dream. I don't want to do that with Ben and Sean. I'm not going to Norway with them just to keep that from happening. I know how to keep that dream from becoming a reality.
You got a free ticket to Norway. You want to go look at the caribou?
So then a couple nights ago, I have the dream, and we go back to this festival. And you're like... This was
still across 31?
Yeah, right. Same way. Cross 31 to Norway is a shortcut. It's a quick way to get there.
Obviously, it's the underground tunnel to Norway.
And the festival, it's the next year or something. I don't know. The time doesn't make sense. But we go back, and you're like, what do you think they did with the guy? And we're like, well, we have to know, right?
Oh, no.
We have to know.
Dream Ben's not real life Ben. Real life Ben would have been like, I found butterbeer.
Yeah. So we go back to the place. We book our room in the same
that guy's room,
gathering in the same set of hotels. And you're like, we're gonna sneak over because it's we're gonna go in and we're gonna get in the door and see what's going on there because something has to have happened. And so we do, but housekeeping's been there, so the bed's made and.
Wait, what's the duration between not real life Dream 1, Dream 2, but Dreamland Dream 1, Dream 2?
A year maybe. It's after.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily, but it's
right.
The next year.
It's not the next day.
No, okay. It's the next year when the festival happened, and you're like, we're going back, and I'm like, okay, it's just on there. So 31 to go to Norway, so no problem. It's easy.
Soup's easy to get to Norway, gang.
And we're like, housekeeping's been in here, so they've done something. And then you go in the bathroom and you realize he's still wrapped up in the shower curtain in the bathtub, and you're like, oh, that's
not done anything.
You're like, they've continued to clean like he's still. And they had said, actually we have They said when we checked in, we've got a guy who's been paying for his room since last year's festival. And that we were like, oh, we got to see what does that mean? Mm-hmm. And so we realized he's wrapped up just as he had been.
Yeah.
But yet still, a year later or whatever, he was still in good shape and good health and whatever. And you're like, we probably got to get him out of here. there.
Nope.
Like
Nope.
we got him moving. So
Not our problem.
we carry him
Nope.
out to the trunk. It's such a messed up dream. We carry him out to the trunk, and then you're like, I'm gonna go back in and wipe things down.
That sounds like me.
And as you go back in, the guy gains consciousness.
Okay, now I'm in. Now I'm in on
And he's all wrapped up in shower curtain, so he can't move, and he's in the trunk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're alive. You're alive. And he's like, what happened? And he's like, you. And I'm like, he recognizes me from whatever. And he's like, you. And I'm like, yeah, like, you're okay, man. Like, and I'm like, you're okay because you're not dead. Like, I'm like, oh, good news, buddy. Like, I'm like, you're okay. And he's like, what are you talking about?
I have so many questions.
Yeah, no. And then you come back out, and I'm like, dude's not dead. And you're like, oh, man. So then we retell him the story, and he's like, oh, that's cool. And we go and have like a beer or something. And I'm like, I'm glad we didn't kill a guy, but man, that was.
Okay, good. All right.
That's.
So here's a center and sync moment in real time. If that happened, we re-kill the guy.
No, we don't.
Yes,
no,
we do.
We have a chance to be saints. We're gonna let him. We're gonna be like. We're gonna look back at this and laugh someday.
That dream is the perfect illustration of you and I, where you're like, no, we can be saints, and I'm like, you dead, you die again.
We gotta fix it. We gotta fix the mistake.
You go to hell and you die.
I know waking up from that dream and being like, oh, it's settled. Like we didn't kill a guy in Dreamland. Like, because I've killed people in Dreamland. I've killed family in Dreamland.
Yeah,
and like if that's a whole, like what if that's like a parallel universe? Like, ugh, I've done some nasty things.
No, I get that. You're a good person. Because even
that's
in my
redemption, you have a chance at redemption. You're gonna kill the guy.
And if that were my dream, 100% I would have killed that guy.
We kept him in the shower curtain in the trunk until we retold him the story to kind of bring him back. And we're like, and it's been like a year, but look, you're not dead. Ha ha! Ta-da! Winners!
This is just layers of emotion right now. First of all, I don't trust anybody.
No.
So second of all, he's not going to let me off the hook on this. Third, I'm not going to talk to the guy. I've already got him bound in a shower curtain. I'm going stabby to his face and let the shower curtain catch all the drippy. And then I'm making sure I'm making sure that he is completed. The job is done.
And it was like an old model, like Ford, like a 1940s, Ford, like coupe.
Oh man,
yeah.
That's like at the wedding, the kind of stuff that you saw at the wedding.
Yeah, it was. I was relieved.
Wow.
I woke up I was like, oh, because I had forgot the previous dream. But like as soon as I had the second dream, I was like, oh yeah, I had that a few months ago.
Oh man, I the worst dreams for me to emotionally recover from throughout the day. Do you ever have that? When you have a dream that just wrecks your day? It was always my dog.
Oh.
It was always something happened to Max. And so then I would be like super bothered. And I actually had to, it's not sin or saying, it's just confession. I actually had to figure out how to get over my dog. Where then it was like, because I lost maybe my most loved one.
Yeah, right.
And because he was just something so unique to me.
Yeah.
And I was, my wife and I were talking about him not too long ago, and she's like, I kind of hate to bring up Max. I was like, we can bring up Max. Like, we're good. I was like, all the hurt and the sorrows are over. I was like, now we're to the point where we remember the funny things and the good times about Max. And like, the fact that the entire neighborhood called him bad neighbor because he would just wander into somebody else's yard and defecate and then just wander back, and I'd be like, I'll come clean it up. Sorry guys, like Grandpa just steals from the grocery store. I don't know what to tell you.
Just what he does.
And so, but those are the dreams that would wreck me.
And
it got to a point where it was like I didn't even want to tell my wife I was still dreaming about the dog because it just seemed like I should be over this, right? Like it was a dog.
Grief hangs with you, man. Grief.
But yeah, and man, my family line, we bathe in that crap. Jeez, oh, Lou. I don't know where we're at on time. We can go as long
I'm
as
not
we
going to
want.
Norway
It's
with you
our
though.
podcast.
We're 39. We're good.
I would go to Norway with you.
I'm not going because I know what you're going to do bad things.
I'm gonna watch soccer.
You're going to do bad. You're going to do bad things.
That's the equivalent of me doing bad things.
The Rugby World Cup's on, and I'm loving it.
You are loving the rugby.
I'm catching it, and they're broadcasting it. 4 years ago, every 4 years, just like the
World Cup.
Soccer World Cup. Yeah, but you always had to pay some stupid, ridiculous subscription to watch rugby,
Or find a weirdo bar.
And so no, it's out there. Peacock's covering it. NBC or NBC. Yeah,
NBC Sports. Yeah. Peacock is an affiliate.
Yes, I know.
It's what NBC Sports became.
Yeah. So they're covering it, which is fantastic. It's in Paris, which is also where the Olympics will be next year.
Yeah, next summer.
Fun stuff. I love it.
That's
I
great.
love watching it.
That's great.
It is poetry in motion. Like it is unreal. So
I'm gonna have to get on and watch some of that.
I'll commentate for you.
This is my. Do you have busy sports seasons?
I lock in for football. I watch NFL football.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. This is that time of year where I'm overwhelmed by things I want to watch.
Yeah, you got the MLB playoffs coming.
You got the race coming down to the deadline for who's going to make the playoffs. And you know, MLB is becoming. I'll make this brief, which means I won't. MLB has decided that they want to be a sport for the TikTok generation.
Yeah.
MLB has forgotten that they are the oldest living sport in this country and that it was built on history.
Yeah.
So the people who actually want to watch baseball want to watch baseball.
Real baseball.
Not whatever this has become with all the rule changes and all the things. And so this has been the first year probably since I fell in love with baseball at 7 or 8 years old that I didn't follow baseball this year like I follow baseball.
Huh.
And I mean, I still followed baseball, but not with kind of that passion and zeal that I always had.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just really disappointing to me to not feel like I was as in the know as I've always been. And then I had a dream. I stabbed it in the face.
Yeah, well.
And so
baseball, you got baseball, NFL's picking up. So you got
so you've got baseball.
The men you fantasize about that
NFL,
you watch every week.
But then also college football. I'm a devoted
Are you
Purdue
big
fan.
college? Okay.
And,
Well, they're up.
And hammer down.
Yeah.
And I also love that ABC does a good job of trying to give you a marquee matchup. Not necessarily week 1 or 2, but like week 3 and beyond, you get typically at 7:30 at night, you get 2 ranked teams going against each other. And then, of course, European soccer is still going on, and Champions League starting, and the Carabao Cup starting, and so like you have all these other tournaments that are going on throughout the international breaks. And
so you like your sports, is what you're saying?
I drink beer.
You wear a cup. You wear a cup to work just to kind of commemorate the sports season.
Real men don't wear cups.
Oh.
Cooper Cup doesn't even wear a cup.
He should. That's a whole branding thing right there. The Cooper Cup, it catches everything.
Oh, if you're out there and you're in marketing, we want 10%. What's the date? September 10th? Is that what it is? I don't know. But the Cooper Cup that catches, oh, beautiful. September 17th, year to year. Oh, my goodness.
What'd you learn today?
I learned that the Cooper Cup catches everything.
Let's see. Hot or cold? Like our relationships with our spouses is constantly in motion. It does not. You not get to a place. Cruise control happens in the small seasons. It's kind of just like driving. Like you can drive in cruise control for a while, but you can't drive. You can't do a whole trip in cruise control.
I also learned, and I agree with that. I still wouldn't trade my wife for anything. She's the person for me. But I think I think I'm a little impressed that you're a dream forgiver, because I really like.
I couldn't carry that. If I'm
having a dark dream, I lean in. I don't search for seasons of resolution. I'm just like, you die now.
I don't carry guilt. Well, no.
Talk to some Irish people. We do.
And
We know how to carry
younger, I would have carried guilt fine.
Yeah.
But in my older age, I try to own all my stuff.
Yeah. Are we on
Who'd we offend? Who'd we offended?
Good segue.
Yeah.
Every single person who listened to this, I'm sorry, we've had some weird staticky something happening throughout the episode, so we offended all of you if you want to clear audio.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Or we won't. It's just what it is. Every time we think we got technology figured out, it bites us in the butt. So.
But look at it this way. If you tell a friend, then we can make more money and we can actually afford better equipment and a real studio.
Yeah.
And a producer.
The reason that the sound equipment is so bad, the quality is so bad, it's your fault. It's your fault.
I know that
much. Like, do your job.
Do better.
Come on. For crying out loud.
14.
14.
We probably offended dude, I'm sorry. Male or female, I'm sorry. We latched onto you like we do Patrick's sister. Oh boy, that came out. That came out hot. I'm gonna go ahead and move this.
No way, we made his day. He's gonna be like, dude, I got mentioned on a podcast.
I got a shout out where these two old heavy dudes talk about stuff.
They're dumb. They're so stupid. They don't even know what they're
I
doing.
wonder if that's it. He just laughs at us. And he's just like, this is what I never want to be.
I listen to this podcast. It's so cringy. Those guys aren't lit at all.
I'll be honest.
I don't even know. Yeah, there's
cringy. And why are we lit?
Not lit. We're not lit. Lit's a good thing, I think.
We're not. Hey, first of all, I've always been told we can't smoke in here, so we're not lit. I would change that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you out with a spirit, and the spirit is, cruise when you can, and when you can't, switch into that manual mode where you're driving the car and adjusting with the traffic around you. Grow in your life in a way that you're forgiving in your dreams, as well as in reality, despite what my co-host may think.
Well, I mean, grow in a way that if you shake it, the white foam goes to the top.
and if you're not forgiving your dreams, make sure you know how to wipe down a room really well.
Yeah.
Get tickets to Norway on the other side of 31 on our podcast. That coupons out there. It's just a skip, hop, and a jump.
Keychain. the Indianapolis of Norway, the Noblesville of Norway.
It's just right over there. Took a trip to Norway. You did? Yeah, no, it's just right.
I'm going to say that when I get home. I was recording. We went to Norway.
Norway. Yeah, Norway. It was wonderful.
It was wonderful. I don't know. You came home in the middle of the night, and then you went to Norway.
I don't know anything.
Patrick.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Keep coming back for more of these. We're loading up the fall and getting ready for some stuff in the new year, and merch and some reels and all sorts of different weird things that we're trying to do.
Learning what we can do to try and promote ourselves better. But like anything else, man, the best thing is just tell a friend, tell a family member. If you've got somebody that you think might enjoy this kind of garbage that we're putting out there, please just pass it along. We appreciate that because let's face it, they're probably not going to listen, but they might tell somebody else, and so
you never know.
Yeah,
everybody's figuring out what the best and worst of life is, and so you got to hold on to those best moments and work through the worst.
But we appreciate you guys being here and coming back. So thank you very much to our listenership. We appreciate you guys.
We out.